And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at Kemet, and this is from Asmodee, although it was originally produced by Asmodee. And have they done good games in the past? Well, you may have heard of a small game they've done called Cyclades, and before that they did a game called Giants. I am telling you, these guys are on the top tier of production / artwork in games. Period. If I had to pick a company, Asmodee would just be right there. And I'm going to include Asmodee because Asmodee knows how to pick the games that fit this category. Now, when I opened this game, I was reminded of Cyclades because it looked like that. Because in Cyclades, it was ancient Greece with monsters and such. Here we have ancient Egypt, and there's different monsters in this game. When I opened the box, I saw a giant scorpion. I saw a giant phoenix, a snake, and a huge stag beetle. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then I remembered Cyclades. And I like Cyclades. It's a good game. But the problem with Cyclades was you got these massive, cool creatures, and they would show up, boom, and then they would disappear. And that was cool that they showed up real quick, but they were gone, so they weren't as exciting. I've always wanted to control big guy. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the game. The game comes with a very beautiful board here. This is the board for 2 to 4 players, and then there's a board on the other side that's for 3 to 5 players. And this board is really well done. And the reason I said it is because there's spots for the different starting players, and they're pretty much all equidistant from each other. So if I want to attack him, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and to get the other guy down here would be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. To get over here would be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and to get this guy would be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And so it's a really nicely done map in that regard. There's no one who's caught in the middle. I mean, it looks like this guy's in the middle, but he's not. He's just as far away from everybody as everyone else is. And so the goal of this game is to get a certain amount of victory points. We'll say 8 for a shorter game. And those victory points are gotten through specific ways. There are many what they're called temporary victory points, and the reason they're called temporary is because you can lose them or they can be taken away from you. Each person in their starting city is going to have some pyramids in that city, and a pyramid can start at level 0, which means it's not there, or you can start them at 1. You have 3 to spend, so you can put a 1, 1, 1, or a 2, 1, and a 0. But as time goes by, you're going to be upgrading these pyramids, and as you upgrade these pyramids, once they get to level 4, that's worth a victory point for you. So you can get 3 victory points if you upgrade all your pyramids to level 4. There's also several temples on the board that if you control them, they're worth a victory point. But if someone takes it away from you, that's also worth a victory point. You can get a permanent victory point if you control this one up here, which is a special one that people can fight over. And the rest of the victory points in the game, there's a few that I'll show you in a second, but most of the rest come from attacking someone else and winning. If you attack someone else and you win the battle, you get a victory point. So this game encourages attacking one another because you get no victory point for defense, only if you are the attacker. Now, this game revolves around a little board that players will have in front of them. Let's take a closer look at this board. Each player is going to have this board, and at the top of the board, they have a spot there that's going to keep track of their prayer points. And those will be used throughout the game for a variety of different things. And each night you're going to get 2 of them, but you're likely going to want to get more of them. Well, what's going to happen is players are going to have tokens that they're going to use, action tokens that they're going to place down on these spots here on the board. And these are basically a worker placement game. So if I put one here or here, that allows me to move some of my men on the board. If I put one here, it allows me to recruit more men, 1 prayer point for each man, and I can put those people anywhere in my city. Here, this lets me upgrade one of my pyramids to the next level, which will cost prayer points equal to the level I'm going to. So if I'm going from 2 to 3, it costs 3 prayer points. If I'm going from 3 to 4, it costs 4. You can actually take one pyramid and go more than one level. You just have to pay all the points. So if I went from 2 to 4, I would have to pay 7 prayer points to move it up 2 levels. If I go here, I get prayer points. Here I get prayer points. And then down here, I can buy an upgrade tile. The upgrade tiles are a huge part of this game. Each upgrade tile is one of 3 colors. We have red, blue, and white. And you can't buy an upgrade tile unless your pyramid is equal to the level of that tile. For example, if I want to buy this one, I need a level 1 blue pyramid. If I want to buy this one here, it costs I need to have a level 2 blue pyramid. Each of these tiles, when you buy this tile, it's a permanent thing that you have for the rest of the game. The tile up here is the cost of it. So this one would cost 1 prayer point to buy that tile. And then it gives you a special ability. So you can see this one here. When I use the recruit action, I get 2 extra guys for free. This one here below it, if I buy this one, I get this creature. I get this snake. He's the guy that comes with this. And the snake is good because he cancels out other large creatures. And any unit that he's with gets a +1 movement. And so the blue tiles are mostly defensive tiles. There's all different things. Here's another creature you can get. Here's a victory point. This is one of the other victory points I talked about. You can just buy 1 victory point for 3. The red tiles are about attack. You can see there's a giant scorpion that you can buy. This giant scorpion is great because he does 2 extra attack, 2 damage, and +1 movement. But he costs 4. You need a level 4 red tower to get him. And there's all sorts of things here. You're gonna have to just be. Look at all these different situations, the red attack, blue defense, and the white other things. For example, this white one here, just every night, you're going to get 2 more extra prayer points. Over here, you can upgrade your levels for 1 less prayer point. And there's all sorts of different things that you can get on these. And they can give you extra cards, and there's just a lot of neat options. And you won't be able to get all of them, but when you do get one of these, it's yours for the rest of the game. Now, over the course of the game, you're going to be using your troops to attack other people. You'll start with 10 of them, but you'll have more as time goes by. When you move troops, you have different opportunities. You can always pay 2 prayer points to teleport from a pyramid to any of these obelisks all over the board. So you have to be careful with if there's an obelisk, you can show up in that if you transport from a pyramid. So you get to these temples very quickly, and you want to get to these temples because they give you victory points. And they give you extra prayer points at night, so they're a very useful thing to have. You can also move your people 1 space, which doesn't seem very far, but there's a lot of ways to increase the movement speed of your folks. Those large creatures will often increase your movement. There are ways that there's tiles that you can buy that just increase your movement. When you go into the same spot as an enemy, at that point you will have a battle. And each player has a set of 6 battle cards. And in each battle, you're going to discard 1 card without using it and play the other one. So every battle, you get rid of 2 cards. So after 3 battles, you take all your cards back and you start over again. Each card here has an attack value on it. It has how much damage you do. Or some cards have a defensive value. So let's say, for example, I'm attacking you with 4 guys. And you are defending, and I attack an area that has 3 guys. So it's 4 to 3 right now. Neither one of us has any creatures, although creatures can add bonuses. And neither one of us has any tiles that give bonuses, because that could help too. So it's 4 to 3. I play this card here. So 4 plus 4 is 8. And you play this card, 3 plus 3 is 6. All right, so 8 to 6, I'm the winner. And since I'm the attacker and I won, I'm going to get a victory point. That's great. Now, I also do 1 damage. Fortunately, you block it. If you had not blocked it, you would have lost one of your guys. As it is, you need to retreat all your guys to an adjacent spot, or you can pull all your guys back into your reserves, and you get 1 prayer point for doing that. That's to keep you, if you're down to 1 guy, you don't retreat, and so then the attacker can attack you again and get another point. So that's a pretty nice rule there. So that's basically how battles work, and the card system is very nice because when you look at these cards, some of them have high attack values, others have low attack values, but they have damage and points. In fact, if you lose a battle and you have enough tiles and cards to let you do damage, you can destroy your opponent's force, so they may get a point for winning the battle, but you've really just wreaked havoc with them. Not to mention, there's these cards. Everyone gets 1 of them every night, and these cards do all different things. Many of them can be played during battles. Here's just +1 defense, +1. So when you play these, you put these underneath your battle card, and you can play as many as you want or afford because some of them cost prayer points to use. So there's a lot of these, and there's ways to get more of them as the game progresses. And so that's basically how the game works. Each turn is broken up into night and day, and at night you get prayer points, you get a card, and some special effects happen at night. And then during the daytime, players are going to use the action tokens, or a couple of those tiles give you extra action tokens that you can use. There's really a lot going on, but after every day, you check how many points players have, and if someone has reached enough points, then that player has won the game. And that's how you play Kemet.
I love this game, and there's a lot of reasons why. I get to control those big guys, those big creatures. That's one reason why. Okay, this game takes some of the things that I like from other games and puts them together. It takes Olympus, where the upgrade tiles that you could buy in Olympus, and although those that were kind of boring in this game, all the upgrade tiles are cool. I want them all. I want to add to my attack. I want to add to my defense. I want extra guys at night. I want to be able to bring guys back from the dead. I want to get prayer points when guys die. I want to control those creatures and march across the board. And it's really cool because each game you play, it will be different. I also like it because it's a light war game that promotes attacking. There's so few of those out there. Most war games promote turtling, where you set up. This game, you only get victory points if you attack. Sure, you can go around and get victory points for controlling temples, and I suppose you could play a defensive strategy, and in fact, I've seen people do that, where they will try to buy the victory point tile, the upgrade tiles that are worth victory points. They'll try to control several temples and just sit there and be defensive and get their points that way. But the game gives me points if I attack you, so I'm going to. And it's just a blast. That's such a blast. It's so fast. The game itself isn't fast. It's probably a 2-hour game with 5 players, and 4 players, maybe less. And once you know what you're doing, the game will go fast. But it has worker placement. It has fighting. The combat with cards is great. There's no rolling dice, which is sad. But the combat is a good idea. You can even, some of those upgrade tiles let you put a new card in your deck. You know, that makes your deck a little bit better than other people's. The production is amazing. Once again, each person's little soldiers are different than everyone else's. They didn't have to do that. They could have used the same mold for all of them, but they didn't. The artwork is phenomenal. I love this game, and I'm surprised it hasn't gotten more buzz. But this game is just amazing, and it works well with 3, 4, 5 players. There's a lot going on. I mean, we're not talking about super heavy strategy, but there is tiles to pick from, there is worker placement, and then there's just straight up in your face attacking. No one's at a disadvantage of their position. Just a lot of fun. Easily one of my favorite games of the year, Kemet.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door.
There.